It's TGIF, and we're right back, and we're here on Breakfast Central, here on News Central. It's been a fruitful, and I could say a fantastic week all along. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and it's Friday. Welcome. My name is Johansson.
And I'm Benga Borough. It's good to be here on a Friday. TGIF, as we say, everyone looking very pretty.
Peng.
And dandy, you know, ready for the weekend, like Sam Dandy. It's great to be here. Judith, how you doing?
I'm doing good. I almost wore a turtleneck finally. Thank goodness I didn't, because it will now be like there's a memo and then Joe missed it.
I almost wore a turtleneck.
Can you agree with that? Just be like, I'm
when
cool.
I saw Benga, I was just laughing.
I was just smiling to myself. I was like, yeah.
Trust your instinct.
You know what I mean? Exactly. I was like, I'm just going to... And it's so nice because you're wearing a blue and you're wearing a gray. I'm wearing a white. It's almost like on the same color palette.
Yeah.
So, great minds think alike.
Yes. And it's a bright day. But before we get started with wake-up conversations, they always say cleanliness is next to godliness. And we strive for excellence in Lagos State. And Nigeria is very religious. So I'm wondering why Lagosians are so dirty. And I think we should do better in care of our environment. If you drive along the Kate axis, different parts of Lagos, they've turned highways to refuse dump sites. I mean, for a state that prides itself in excellence, it's an eyesore. It shouldn't be so. I know the government has its responsibility to clear this, and they do. But when individuals are not responsible, when they litter, when they overwhelm the system, we have a state that no one is proud of. So please, let's do better. And every other day you see people, I don't know, maybe it's in, or maybe I'm just consciously observing it, people urinating in public. There's always a fine. They say there's kick against indiscipline. If we need to increase the amount of the officers on patrol or do more sensitization. Women don't do it. Oh, some women do it, but I don't know why men. You just, every other day you see somebody urinating in public. It's terrible. Let's do better as a people. That's it.
I like the way you started the show today on cleanliness, and I think I'm going to toe the same line. Whether you like it or not, everyone would say Lagos State is a state that is filled with so many people because you have the influx of individuals who come in every now and then just to be part of the success. I mean, they also make the state successful because of the energetic influence and contributions. But when it comes to the dirt and what we see in Lagos, I agree with you. I was going home yesterday and someone from the window of a bus flung a bottle of a popular drink he finished and then threw the nylon of whether it was bread and egg. I was peeved. I was like, what is this? I felt, you know, sometimes while I'm on the steering, I just honk my horn, you know, uncontrollably, like pam, 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 and I just make the light, and I flash my lights like, come on. Why would you do that? If it's dirt, keep it in your car. When you get to your place of destination, you thrash properly. But you see, Benga, you started a conversation that I think if we continue, we will not stop. I just want to ask a question. How did the former governor of Lagos State do it? I'm talking about Marwa. Remember the laws that were put in place? Buses were having baskets inside of them. You had
it was the military era. I mean, last man is doing their best, but I mean, Kai rather.
Kick against indiscipline. But did it work back then where people even had to line up? Remember, I mean, from the Buhari era, former president, up until, we would say democracy is, of course, fantastic, beautiful. But if you look back and try to see some of the things that the military regime had instilled, it kind of like brought about discipline, and people were just disciplined. I think naturally, we oftentimes, not all Nigerians, but majority of us...
Look, we have a prison congestion problem.
I
think people should just do community service. Like that human being that threw out that bottle, if I apprehend that, he will have to clean for 1 month. It will give him a timetable every day, Monday to Sunday. And that's the way to stop this sort of nonsense.
Do you think that the reason why the refuse and between the 90s or the early 2000s and now is a lot different, and it's most likely because our population has ballooned, and also the fact that we have a lot of plastics as opposed to back in the day? That could be why, because although there's now been a push for renewals and, you know, urban mining, which is, you know, plastics recycling, but I feel like there's also environmental and the issue of time conditions, where as times are changing, the consumer behavior is changing. There are more plastic bottles, more.
It's just lack of discipline. I mean, look at China, 1.3 billion people. If it's human beings that the contributory factor to waste, then China should be the dirtiest place on earth. But they've turned wealth to waste. They have recycling plants, and they've made a good system out of their waste. So we need to do better as individuals before we start pointing fingers at the government. That's just my 2 cents.
I mean, good way to start the show. Just talk about cleanliness. But let's move on to our Wake Up Conversations this morning. And our very first story on Wake Up Conversations is one that Nigerians, well, I'd say a cross-section of Nigerians, have been eagerly awaiting. They've been looking, staring, and hoping to hear a feedback or an update. Well, let's tell you that. The news has it that River State Governor Siminalayi Fubara has officially been cleared by the All Progressives Congress to contest in the governorship primaries for the 2027 general elections. Now, this comes in as the APC screening committee cleared all 30 governors, including Fubara, despite petitions and rumors of disqualification. At some point, people said, "Oh, it's even the APC is going to Labour Party." They even manifested, or they even created a picture and image, which wasn't true. Now, this means he's actually eligible to run, and the political drama in River State is set to get more interesting, with others also joining the race. Now, don't forget, too, that yesterday was, let's just talk about yesterday. Yesterday was something else. Yesterday as well, we had former governor, absolutely, and former Minister of Transportation, Rotimi Amaechi, also submitting his form, throwing his weight.
In the ADC.
Exactly, saying he's ready to run. Yesterday, too, there was drama where, I mean, there you have him in the pictures there. He's returning and saying, hey, and he said he's also going to run for only 4 years. So there's this 4 years thing going on. Not just that. You had
Governor Seyi Makinde.
Governor Seyi Makinde as well in the Unity rally. That was yesterday, where PDP
and APM collabo.
APM collabo. And he also declared that he's running. We're going to talk about that because I really need to understand. Is the PDP safe, as it were, before you can collaborate with APM and say you're running? What if the court say, hey, Elga, no, you can't do that? And people have still pointed fingers to the court and saying, you guys are the cause of this, because we still don't understand. And the CTC issue, I wonder why everyone is so quiet about the CTC.
And then they sent something all the way to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court sends it back
to the Federal High Court. And the Federal High Court said, this is it. And then there are different interpretations on the CTC. We've brought guests here who have interpreted it differently, quite differently. But let me just run through the wake-up conversation so we can have our reactions. So you have Governor Seyi Makinde as well. Then former Vice President Alhaji Atiku Abubakar also. Did you see he's walking in to submit his presentation? The fight at the door. Security operatives were trying to stop people from. I mean, there was this force that they used to come in and say, "Hey,
why must everything?"
I don't understand what the force was.
Why are we so disorganized?
I don't know. He's just coming to submit his form. Let him submit his form and go. What was the charade? What was the drama and everything that came with it? So he's also running. He threw his hat. I mean, he's ready. Then you also have so many of them. Everyone is ready. So the question now is, are we ready for what we are about to see ahead of 2027? Let's just watch some of the videos, and then we'll come back, and of course, we'll continue the conversation.
Announce my candidacy for the position of the President of the Republic
Drama. Benga, if this is just for submitting form, I wonder what it will be when it's the action time. But let's see what Nigerians are definitely saying about all of this. We're going to look at the aspect of Governor Siminalayi Fubara, and then, of course, take a look at that of Rotimi Amechi, and also take a look at that of the former Vice President, Atiku Abubakar. Let's see what they're saying on X very quickly. Let's take the tweets and see their reactions. Our very first one, Lord Advocate says, finally, it's been too painful watching all the scheming and backtracking of all these change bringers, dancing around the same set of politicians Nigerians have clearly rejected. Seyi Makinde has always worked against godfatherism and cabalism. Also speaking to that team, speaking to Seyi Makinde's declaration. For the delivery of votes beyond 25% in Oyo, President Bola Tinubu needs His Excellency Seyi Makinde on his side. Governor Seyi is looking for who will deliver his successor for him while he delivers presidential for the person. APC Oyo isn't strong to challenge Egbo Seyi. Is that true? Well, Gabu says this declaration doesn't look like that of someone who is planning to win. The game is the game. I'm eager to see the distribution of votes across all candidates. So far, we have NDC, APC, ADC, APM. I think Seyi is just happy to divide Bad's vote in Oyo. That's what he says. And Biggest Mark says, declaring for APM with that massive PDP banner in the background, he laughs. It's good that you guys have cuckoo turned electoral democracy into comedy in Nigeria, because that's exactly what it has always been. Well, just to clarify, Biggest Mark, he said it's actually a collaboration. It's a collabo. So it's,
yeah, but you're only going to have one logo on the ballots.
That's what we need to really discuss, to be honest. Ifeanyi Chukwu says, Atiku's boys are suddenly quiet because his name is Makinde, not Peter Obi. They really expected Obi to deputize Atiku, which is why they've been crying ever since Obi left ADC for NDC. That's all we can tell.
So even in the opposition camp, there's a lot of, back and forth. They're not happy with themselves. Attacks here, attack there. And I'm sure the APC just smiling. But everybody has their work cut out for them. It's not going to be a walk in the park for the APC and the opposition if you're trying to unseat an incumbent government. You have a lot of work to do. The task ahead is quite steep.
There's a lot, but I don't know. We're starting to see this is a time where Nigeria's. I don't know what you guys think about the political landscape, whereby we're starting to see a lot of collaborations. It's becoming the in thing now, where parties are, merging, kind of like a banking system.
Mergers and
acquisitions, banks merge, and it's now the new thing in Nigerian politics. And now that it started this way, that means that in the future we should expect more, as it were, where mergers and political parties will find a way where if one is disgruntled, not satisfied, you break it, create a faction, and then you go and merge with another political party, then what becomes of democracy at that point?
I remember, I don't know, it was earlier this week when I noted it here that I'm very interested to see what will be Makinde's move, and if he was going to put out, if he were going to defect, what will he defect to? But very interesting move, like you rightfully put out, that there's a collaboration, going for like somewhat of a collab or a coalition between both parties. But it's, but again, with the PDP flag flying, I'm concerned about the structure of that. We know that there are two factions within the PDP, even though every other representative would deny and say there's no faction. And so what will happen to the Wike-led faction? Will they reject this? Just, again, the news keeps changing every 12 hours. So we're keen to see what the Wike-led faction of the PDP will say about this move by Makinde.
Maybe. Let's see. But let's move on to another story, guys. This one is another one. Very interesting. Benga, I'm sure.
It's been making the rounds on social media yesterday. It's trending, and it's what people call Wike Fubara 2.0, or the Lagos edition, betrayal in high office. If it was a Nollywood movie, that's what they would call it. And, talking about Nollywood, this story does involve a Nollywood actor. They say actors never retire, so he's still a Nollywood actor, even though he's a politician. Chief of Staff to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, Honorable Femi Gbajabiamila, has revealed that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu nearly sacked him as Chief of Staff during the Lagos Assembly crisis in January 2025 after intelligence reports linked Desmond Elliott to the impeachment of Speaker Mudashiru Obasa. Gbajabiamila said Tinubu suspected him of backing Elliott, but his long-standing relationship with the president saved his job. This revelation comes in as Desmond Elliott, Nollywood actor turned politician, is officially fighting to retain his Surulere constituency one seat in the Lagos State House of Assembly. He has picked up his nomination form to contest for a fourth term in the 2027 elections, but doesn't seem to be getting the support of his political backer. Let's take a listen.
I almost lost my job as the chief of staff last year because of this pandemic. You are alive today, you can go and verify with him. The president called me to his study in his house in Abuja during the Obasa saga, impeachment saga. I hear this Desmond is your boy, the one we gave to you. I said, yes, sir. And here is part of the people that are causing problems in the Lagos State Assembly. I hadn't spoken to Desmond. Immediately, I said to Mr. President, no. Desmond is not part of them. I hadn't even spoken to them because I didn't know whether he was part of them. I said, no, he's not part of them. Well, I'm telling you from intelligence that he's part of it. Go and tell him to retrace his steps. This is what Mr. President told me. I said, yes, sir. I called Desmond. That's why I tell you. Just let the president, this is what he said. If you are one of these people, if you are part of them, get out of there. And he started doing the business. Or no. 3 days later, the Director General, DGSS, called me. Chief, there's a problem. Your name is being mentioned all over the place. That you are the one behind, you are supporting Desmond in this impeachment. Of course, President will not believe that Desmond will do such a thing and I will not know our sons. I told the DGSS that I have spoken to Desmond. He has not done anything. I called him again. Desmond, go and make a public statement that you are not part of it. Go and make a public statement till tomorrow. If it was not that I had the kind of relationship I had with Mr. President, I won't be here today.
Interesting revelations there. I mean, and it's elicited so many reactions on social media, and people are speaking to the issues of godfatherism, and that if Lagos is really, if it's the people that really decide in Lagos, or the Babasope system that is prevalent in Nigerian politics. And I mean, personally for me, I'm wondering, okay, what's wrong with Desmond Elliott supporting the impeachment of the Speaker of the Lagos State House of Assembly if he's found wanted and if he's guilty of several infractions? Because we were here as journalists, we did see everything play out. There was a litany of issues bordering on financial impropriety leveled against him, and the majority of the members of the House of the Lagos State House of Assembly voted for him to be removed from office as a result of this. But he was defiant. He was out of the country, the Speaker, Mudashiru Obasa, maybe because he knew that there was a higher backing that is greater than the collective will of the majority of the members of the House of Assembly in Lagos State. And like magic, abracadabra, everything went back to status quo without the antebellum, because there was no antebellum.
The antebellum is somewhere.
In this one. And that's why they say Nigerian politics is very unique and peculiar to us as a people, because the allegations just disappeared. Everything went back to real status quo.
So the question now is, what does the Constitution say? That, doesn't the Constitution state that if a number of members of the House of Assembly, decide to say, no, the Speaker must be impeached, okay? It's there in the Constitution. And they go ahead to carry out that vote. And it shows that the Speaker has been impeached. What we saw in Lagos State was what was quite different from what the Constitution says, because at the end of the day, the Speaker came back and said, no, he cannot be impeached. I'm still the Speaker. So now that it's being linked to one person, I just want to say, let's be mindful. I mean, I agree, the Honorable...
Of precedence, you said.
Exactly. Honorable Femi Gbajabiamila said Desmond Elliott was, but this is election season. Whenever there's election season, it's very obvious and clear that sometimes an individual could be used as a scapegoat. Because why would you mention just Desmond Elliott? What happened to the other members?
Yeah, it wasn't.
Is it because they are coming back?
Maybe because Desmond Elliott was very vocal. Maybe not very vocal.
Well, we only saw him cry.
And he also cried.
He cried so much in that video.
I wish we had
that footage. In a way, he cried and said, no.
But some people were doubting.
Said, no.
They were doubting the cry. He's an actor.
You know?
Exactly.
Because
so they don't know if it's real tears or acting.
Maybe Judith understands
yes,
what Desmond was trying to play
out. As a literati.
Well, literati is literature and intellects. I have nothing to do with state drama. But look, I don't know all that's going on within the House of the State House of Assembly for Lagos State. I don't know. Like you rightfully, everyone has said, put in their submissions, and they're all, in its stead right when you think about it in all sides. But I for one just want to talk about APC itself and what is playing out on the national stage in the last 2 years. Anyone who wants to go into politics, anyone who is on the opposition, and anyone who wants longevity in politics will have to watch how APC plays the game. I have never seen anything like this. We only see this level of politicking, and even at that, there's some sort of integrity that goes into it, or some sort of character, or some sort of restraint that goes into it, and that is in the United States of America. But even yet, we have the GOP, which is the Republicans, and the way they play their politics, which is very clear that they are politicking. They're saying Democrats are more very subtle in their way about how they do things. So again, Gbajabiamila is a chief of staff, and you can read it whichever way you want to do that. But being a chief of staff of the president and also being a two-time leader of the House, one thing is certain, that is a mouthpiece or the representative of the president. And we all know that Baba Sokwe is the leader of the APC.
But is Baba Sokwe not in violation of the principles of democracy?
Well,
how do you call yourself a Democrat?
Let me just, before Judith answers that, let's educate our viewers.
Yeah.
Under the 1999 Constitution, just to make it clear as amended, it simply says that two-thirds of the members of the House of Assembly, once they've decided to say, listen, total members, they vote to remove the Speaker. As long as they're two-thirds, the Speaker is gone. Right. And we saw that play out in Lagos State. Right. However, we saw the Constitution, the law did not stand. Yeah. Look, impunity, you asked a question about whether Baba Sokwe about law, and then you also, rightfully, you read out the law. The president, His Excellency, the President, President Bola Ahmed Asiwaju Tinubu, who is the Grand Commander of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, has been playing politics as long as I've been alive. And I think, and as well as Gbajabiamila, as well as those who are in the House of Assembly, they are the ones who make the laws, enact the laws, and create laws.
they know the law better than I do, better than all three of us do, right? And better than the average Nigerian. And they moved according to the law.
Yeah,
right?
and who put them there in the first place?
No,
The
no, no,
people.
wait, hang on a second. We exercised our civic responsibility. We voted for them, they got in, Abi, and they went in. And they got in, they exercised their own responsibility, or their civic, what is bestowed upon them. And they interpreted it, and then politics played at the end of the day, and before we know it, we woke up one morning, Obasa was...
Who are they answerable to? The people or a kingmaker?
No, that's what I'm saying, right? What I'm saying, I've said it before, that the way the APC plays politics, right, is by far the most interesting thing we've seen in modern day Nigeria in this dispensation of this republic. We've never seen anything like it.
I don't think it's limited to the APC only, because
of course I said it's not limited. I'm not saying, like I rightfully said, it's not limited. But the way that they have played it, it's interesting to watch, and I think everybody needs to watch it on what it means about longevity, about acting the way that they have done, and being as untouchable as they have been. That's all I have to say. I cannot tell the president that what
you find it interesting. I mean, for me, I think it's inimical to the growth of democracy and its anti-democratic principles. We say democracy is the government of the people, for the people, by the people. And the people should decide at the end of the day. I mean, Mr. Gbajabiamila is a private citizen, is a close ally of the president. If he's not happy with the way his boy, Desmond Elliot,
then let the people choose. Right?
Then let the people choose, because at the end of the day, it's their prerogative. There was a reason why they voted him 3 times, and if they think he's doing a fantastic job, and they want him to return for a 4th term, it's all well and good. And if they don't want him to return for a 4th term, it's good. But to be judge an individual or public servant because of he didn't toe the line of Mr. President. People will talk about loyalty and all of that, but looking at the picture itself, you would think, this Mr. Obasa was a saint.
Politics now.
Yeah, but it's no longer party politics. It's Lagos State House of Assembly. It's not an internal APC matter. It's taxpayers' money.
He wants to go back for
the issues of misappropriation of funds, the serious allegations against the speaker were bordering on financial impropriety. That's taxpayers' funds and public money.
I agree with you, right? But I'm talking about this based off of a politics point of view. He wants to go in. He wants to go in and run again and go.
Can he win without the blessing?
But he has bought his form.
Yeah, he has bought his form. They said don't buy your form. We're not going to.
They might not screen him.
They will not.
Desmond Elliot has bought. He got his form. He had some supporters who were cheering him along. Videos arrived. They're online. They were saying, "Hey," and he was walking, stylishly. And then he granted a little. He's really getting into the politics. And then he granted a little speech on the streets and told the people, yes, that he's back, he's going to do it. I'm wondering, his godfather is, whether we like it or not, the Honorable Femi Gbajabiamila. He just confirmed that as well in that video, that when the president called him and said, your boy, So whether you like it or not, people have said in politics you must have, a godfather. But what we're looking at here is, where does the Constitution stand? And where do the people stand? Do the people really matter in Nigerians' modern day politics and democracy? Because it seems like
are they just background
governors telling the president, we're going to give you 3 million votes and so on. How are you going to do that? Don't you think the people are the ones who should say that we're going
It's almost like the people are last thoughts in their calculations.
So how do you get the figures on the ballot? These are questions that, beg for. Let's see what Nigerians are saying very quickly.
This was a Nollywood movie, I'll call it. The Godfather versus God. Godfather versus Godson.
A delicate and party politics at its core.
Anyway, this one says, later you people will say we are in a democracy. You can see that. We didn't even see this tweet before talking, but you can see the reaction there. Bola Lawal says, politics is very tough. This is just a snippet. Oh. Yes, it is. It's tiny. Toby says, 1, this is embarrassing for Desmond Elliot. 2, Desmond's political career is done. 3, this isn't democracy. Have you noticed something that all the 3 tweets we just read, now everyone is highlighting that this is not democracy. This is not how democracy works.
There's a 4th, and it's not
politics of one man. Oh, there's a 4th one. There it is. Politics of one man deciding for the multitude of
the millions.
The millions of others. Desmond,
I'm very interested. Look, see, the
Ademola,
fans
stop
of
this.
Desmond
Ademola, what's
have
this?
waited for far too long. He needs to put out a movie on YouTube. Look, I will say this again. This is a clear case of politics. It doesn't have nothing to do with democracy. It's a clear case of politics. Your godfather is not in support of you. His godfather doesn't appreciate of your move. Right? And it's very clear that...
Two godfathers.
Two godfathers.
The godfather and the grand godfather.
This is not democracy. This is politics at its core. His godfather is not appreciative of you. Your own godfather is also not happy as well.
So that means you are gone.
Go and rest. Go and rest.
So there's another angle. Somebody said, go back to Nollywood. Nollywood will welcome you. Yes, welcome back to Nollywood.
She put out
There are two ways to say, and the other side is saying, look, Oga, you spent 12 years. I know in the legislature you can spend, there's no term limit, but you've tried. I think it's time to give another person the opportunity.
And they're picking
they
a
said,
woman this
please
time.
go and build a film village. After all, Kunle Afolayan,
That's one. Go back there.
I don't understand. It's just one line of that tweet.
No, I saw that tweet. Where's
my auntie Venom?
A madman gave me that advice.
It is what it is. Look, this isn't democracy. This is politics.
Anyway.
You have to play the game.
That's all on our wake-up conversations this morning. We need to move straight to our top stories as we have these conversations all lined up. Let's tell you what the conversations are on a Friday morning. TGIF, Makinde's PDP faction APM hold mega rally. Where is he going to come out with from, rather? Is it APM or PDP? Governor Makinde declares presidential ambition. Don't forget, the CTC is out. They seem to say they understand it. Obi's one-term pledge. Yesterday, 60 Minutes with Mr. K was live, and the comments, oh my goodness. Federal government unveils a nationwide learner tracking platform. We'll learn more about that. The minister is working. And the newspaper front page is also here. So stick around. Stay with us. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Thanks for staying with us. Fresh political realignments may be taking shape ahead of the 2027 elections as the People's Democratic Party faction, backed by Governor Seyi Makinde, formally sealed an alliance with the Allied People's Movement at a unity mega rally in Ibadan. The rally held at the historic Mapo Hall followed the signing of a memorandum of understanding between both parties, the deepening talks of coalition politics and a possible united opposition front ahead of 2027. The development also comes amid growing speculation over Governor Makinde's national political ambitions and increasing efforts by opposition figures to avoid a fragmented contest against the All Progressives Congress.
The alliance is unfolding at a time when the People's Democratic Party, PDP, continues to grapple with internal divisions, the factions and leadership struggles, raising fresh questions about the opposition, the future of opposition politics in Nigeria, and whether small parties could become strategic platforms ahead of the next election cycle. Join us this morning on Breakfast Central to discuss this and more is political analyst Charles Edeho. Mr. Edeho, warm welcome to you and thanks for joining us this morning.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you for being here.
This morning, yeah.
How significant or how politically significant is the PDP-APM alliance, and what do you make of this? What's Governor Seyi Makinde, I know you're not in his head, but what is he trying to achieve here? Does this stand a chance to emerge as president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, or is he playing the role of a spoiler at this point?
Everybody stands a chance. in Nigeria as long as we're Nigerians. All you need to do is just to be very strategic in your planning and then the structure you're building. As for the fact whether it's a spoiler, I wouldn't say so because as I said earlier, he has a right to aspire to any height in this country, which of course he's doing. What I like about what he has done is that he has been able to come out to challenge the powers that be, in the manner of speaking. The only while everybody's being re-rolled to follow the Asiwaju and the other in his camp, he is saying no. I can stand on my own. I'm a man. I have the right to choose for myself. I don't have to fight behind somebody for you to be time to be patriotic. APC is a party that is distinct from PDP, but now is having an alliance with APM. So why should I be compelled to join another party because you want to continue to fly the flag of somebody else, continue to build the
Do you think the fact that he's a second-term governor is a contributory factor?
Yeah, it is, of course, indeed, it is, because he couldn't have done it while he was in the second, because, you know, there are certain things you don't do. You have to be strategic. If not, it will cost you a re-election. But now he knows that he's not expecting anything again to, I mean, because constantly he's going to be rounding off that's his tenure, which is statutorily granted to him. But you see, I love what he has done. As I said, he wants to challenge the status quo, in a manner of speaking. But I don't have a problem with the alliance. If you are going to be running a race that is going to be anchored on an alliance, has he officially written to INEC? That's very important. Because it is very important for you to let the umpire know this is what you're going to be doing. Because there are so many things in place. For instance, if the votes that are going to be going to APC, if people thumbprint for APC, who owns those votes?
APC?
No, sorry, for APM.
Okay,
APM. If they're going to be thumbprint for APM, who owns the vote? If it's for PDP, who owns the vote? Because right now, the court has said that it is not the Turaki-led PDP that's supposed to be recognized. So the PDP vote that are supposed to come to Seyi Makinde, who owns them? We understand. So if there is if there's an official letter to INEC, you know, informing INEC of this coalition, if you call it coalition or alliance, then maybe INEC has to do a rejigging of the positioning of this what call the party logos. There could be an amalgam of APM and PDP, so that when people vote, they vote for them collectively. So it will now be a collective ownership of the votes. But you are going to be thumbprinting for APM. You are thumbprinting for PDP. Are you going to? Is INEC going to be putting
the
votes together?
Invalidate the ballot.
Exactly, they will invalidate it. That's the problem I have with this alliance. You understand what I'm saying? So for me, I always quarrel. I quarrel with Seyi Makinde's strategies. They do not seem to always work. When he was with Wike, he helped Wike to feather his nest. At the end of it, he lost out. Now he was also driving a train that was headed nowhere by organizing this convention in Ibadan, that he knew he did that against court rulings and all that. Then that one also lule, as Yoruba would say. So now he's doing APC and APM and PDP, which of course, as I said, there's a whole lot of problem.
You forgot one more thing he did recently.
Yeah, which of them? Okay, please.
Ibadan Summit.
Well, the Ibadan Summit wasn't also, that was also.
Yeah, because it was after the Ibadan Summit that Kwankwaso and Obi left.
They also left. So you see, that, I think because if you are politically strategic, you always.
So you're saying he's not a strategist, a political strategist, or he's not even a mastermind.
All the strategies, have they worked now?
No,
No, it's a rhetorical question.
No,
you don't have to answer it.
Oh, okay. No, I ask because as governor, he wields the same power that Wike did wield.
Exactly.
As governor.
Yes.
He was also part of the G5.
Yes.
And then we also saw a lot of mass defections from either the PDP or the Labour Party to the APC. At this point, the APC has 31 states under its belt, as well as also holds a majority in the House. So it begs to ask the question why he never did speculative, preemptive. Why has Makinde failed at every turn?
That's what I'm saying. I said you need to be strategic. I won't fail to always use that word. That word is very strategic. This is what has helped Tinubu to get to where he's always very strategic. He knows who to put somewhere. He knows when to move and not when to move.
Timing.
And then the time is very important. And then you also look at You see, it's like forecasting. People who are into football game forecasting, you know exactly when Arsenal and this met in 1982, what happened and all that. And then you have to do the result of Arsenal meeting with those players. That's exactly how to train it. You train your mind to accept certain things about strategies. But for me, if I recount from G5 to Turaki and the convention and all that, they seem not to have worked. Even this amalgamation of APM and PDP, and that's what I'm saying. Is there an official letter to the umpire informing it of this amalgamation or coalition or alliance, whatever nomenclature might want to give it? So that's what I'm saying, that if the votes are not going to be counted for PDP, because PDP is not in their hand, because Turaki is not. Turaki is not recognized by law.
But that will be argued, though.
How? But when the Supreme Court has
he's a senior advocate of Nigeria.
There is no faction. By that court pronouncement, there's no faction. There's only one PDP. So I think it's the media that is just creating this faction.
Yeah, but
when the court
because of the way they move.
No, when the court has said
what did the court say?
It is Hansen that is the chairman of the party.
Okay.
So it means that the party led by Hansen.
But Adolphus,
it is the party. Adolphus, but all these BOT, if they are not captured within the wicked faction, if you call it faction, then
you just did it.
If you call it.
But Samuel Anyanwu
Anyanwu is the one that is constitutionally recognized as the national chair.
Are you sure about that?
As national secretary. Yes, of course. I'm a political
all right, so let's call it a two-corridor house, right? Since you wouldn't call it a faction.
It's a single corridor.
It's a single, but
it's a single corridor because that's why we came when he was commissioning things yesterday, he said it was a 419 political move. And I'm not a wicked fan, but I tend to agree with him. I love Seyi Makinde. I love him for the fact that he's bold and all. They want to stand against the status quo. But standing against status quo may not pay you, because the alliance with Wiki G5 didn't pay him. They helped to feather Wiki's nest. Then the Ibadan Convention or something didn't help him. Which of these strategies has helped Makinde? Then he's now doing a realliance or whatever nomenclature you're going to call it. I keep asking the question, who will own the vote of PDP or APM?
But I want to believe that, Governor Seyi Makinde is a very smart and intelligent governor. I want to believe that question you asked, whose thumbprint is it?
They would have thought it out.
Sorted. I
don't think interpretation from that.
You don't have it yet.
Well,
but we are discussing as of today.
Okay, as of today, we don't have that. But we would want to believe that would have been a forethought. If you go into an agreement with anybody, we saw them signing documents. The footage and the scene show them signing documents, flipping pages. I'm sure if a memorandum of understanding is signed, we want to believe that as an engineer and one who is...
But I do understand...
But I get his point. Yes, I get his point.
That fears,
usually,
because he also has an antecedent of making moves that run foul
never work. I
think I'm wrong about four.
So where I'm worried now, this is my biggest question, and I think Nigerians should also start to think deeply about it. On the ballot paper,
yes,
you can have only one party logo.
One party logo there, and then there's space for you.
Now that we're having coalitions back and forth,
alliance, more like.
We've seen the ADC. ADC is like the mother who sucked in different parties,
yes,
and they all
have ADC
one name.
as their
logo. One name, which
That's
is
what I'm
ADC.
saying.
But this APM PDP, the PDP is already shaking. Maybe they will just stick to the APM.
It's not even
APM
PDP. It's APM PDP Ibadan branch.
That's well.
And maybe they will.
Yeah, it's not.
Incidentally, the national chairman of APM is from the north.
It's from the north.
I think the secretary is from the east or so, at least something. Yes.
Let me ask a question about the person that is Governor Seyi Makinde. Why do you think he wants to throw in his hat for governor? Why not
for president?
For president. Yes. Why not go to the governor's retirement home?
The Senate.
Yes.
Well, I think they're already pushing someone over there.
Yeah.
Well, as I said, he appears to me to be a man who wants to challenge the status quo. You understand? And he also wants to divorce himself of the fact that this is what everybody is going. This is what everybody going. I would want to go there. He wants to do things different.
Also like the Abga kind of setting where you just have in the east.
Well, I don't know about Abga.
Anambra.
I don't know about Abga. But there's something wrong with that. There's something wrong with regional party. If you can't do national, do regional. If you can't do regional, do state.
If you can't do state, do local.
If you can't do state, do local. There have been accord. There was an accord I won in Mushin here, which was a local government. So it's not compulsory. You have to have your spread across the nation.
Yeah.
But as I said, I tend to want to like Makinde for standing against some powers that be, to telling them that you are qualified to be president, I'm also qualified for president. His strategies are what I think, for me, that's where the fear is. Because if you're not careful, as I said earlier, so it's not late. Maybe the second stanza of this is to write a letter to INEC, formally announcing to INEC that there is a collabo, there is a cohesion.
And under what authority will he be doing that? As what?
No. They have signed MOU. MOU means that they will have to collapse their structures.
He's the governor.
But I think what they need to do, what Seyi Makinde is very careful about is the brand PDP. He doesn't want to just throw it away.
Right.
He wants to keep hanging on to that brand PDP, because if he jumps onto APM is I don't want to
water down.
Right.
So I think that's what he's careful about, not to dump the brand that is recognized for a lesser recognized.
Now, Charles, let's look at the other side of the divide. The ruling party, the APC. First of all, they witnessed the divorce in the ADC when two political juggernauts and heavyweights left to the ADC.
To the NDC.
Yeah. Yes, Rabi Musa Kwankwaso and Peter Obi. And now they've seen another, the SDP, Prince Adewale, is always going alone. He's a solo man. He has gone his own way. And now we're witnessing Seyi Makinde and the APM throwing their hat in the race. Does this, looking at the political calculus, does it make it an easier ride for the ADC's re-election?
ADC or APC?
For the APC, rather, since the opposition is fractured?
Well, what I'm going to say now, I just hope people are not going to be, they will not misconstrue what I'm saying to say that APC appears to have gone way ahead of all of them in planning, though they also have their internal wranglings, and which, of course, political watchers are fearing that may not cause implosion upon the party or in the party. But you see, it is a multi-pluralism we are practicing in Nigeria. So it's not going to be that we are going to be having a single ballot a single logo ballot. That's why you have all these people coming in, ADC and all that. And APC may also be having this thing easy, because that's why you see, according to political watcher, that APC appears to also be jittery, particularly with the Obi brand and then the Kwakwaso brand. Anywhere they move, people want to create chaos. So we are saying that if APC is not jittery, then why don't you just leave Obi and then let's go to the open field and play? So Absolutely. That's what I'm saying. It may not be an easy ride for the APC, but as I said earlier, the party appears to have gone far, way ahead of all of them, and they are just doing a catch-up. So I hope the catch-up we make them catch up with others and see what they can glean from
but how bad?
I'd like to circle back to the PDP. Forgive me. I'd like to circle back to the PDP just a second, because I'm thinking about all of the individuals that are within the PDP. You say there are no factions. We'll work with you.
According to the court.
According to the court ruling, we're going to work according to the court pronouncement that there is no faction within the APC. The PDP. I beg your pardon. So there's also a gentleman agreement that that the presidency has to stay within the southern region of Nigeria. So who then would the PDP would have picked as a presidential candidate to run against the APC and the incumbent, which is President Tinubu? I ask this question because we know that far back in 2023, the man himself, Wike, wanted to be president. And he wasn't able to get the ticket.
As they say.
As they say, he didn't get the ticket to run for presidency. And that was the reason why he stepped away. And now we see what he's become, an agent provocateur, if you will. And so I asked that question specifically. And if you would throw again, what will be the future of Fubara? Because clearly, of Wike, I beg your pardon, because clearly he's not going to run this 4 years until next year. And even the next election cycle is not coming back to the South. So how long will it take for him to fulfill his ambition of presidency?
Well, I think people say he still has age at his, on his side. I would, that's also debatable. We don't know how old Wike, we do know how old is Wike going to 30. As you said, then the pendulum of leadership, the way it oscillates between the South and the North, as you said, may not favor the South. If it doesn't favor the South, then Wike may just be running a race to nowhere in that regard. So, but I think for me, this is what I've seen. I think Wike may have just thrown away issue that has to do with the party, and this is just building his personal political, his own political future. Yeah. Particularly his son. He has already started raising his son. So whatever may be doing, his son is very young. He may also be propelling his son towards the future, but building strategic, building
especially in River State.
River State first as the launch pad. Then you can now begin to throw in, and he also may need the support of his friends within the APC. In future, as I said, you have to plan into the future, which is why Makinde is doing. Makinde is not looking at the future the way I see. He's just looking at now. But it's Asiwaju look to the future. Look at what he did about bringing the ACN into and all that. So that may be what Wike may be doing. But Wike has also said, according to Makinde, that he was going to press down. That's my word. Press down the neck of PDP for Asiwaju. So if it presses down the neck of PDP, it means that it may not bring out a presidential candidate. So you want to bring out a PDP that is going to be rivaling the person you are supporting? But that's also debatable.
But we're going to take that story later on today, because the PDP is also looking to have its own screening, the Wike factor.
Yeah, I think it's just...
The last time we spoke to the spokesperson of the PDP, she said just one individual.
She said just one, but now they have
it's a consensus.
People.
They're going to consensus.
But now they are also having consensus and so on.
But what might happen at the end of the day, this is, I'm trying to be a prophet right now, is that they may just say yes, they have fulfilled the righteousness of INEC, of the enabling laws, but we also have the right to step down. So we are stepping down, we are collapsing our approach. All the votes for PDP should go to APC. That's what might happen. Okay?
That's what might also happen
with
Makinde and APM. All the PDP
but let's talk about...
To the
you think it's
sorry, but they have education. They have to educate their supports, and so that they have to eliminate confusion, because most people... the people that they take to rally, most of them are uneducated. Okay, you go over there. This umbrella, this is APM, this is cassava. Which one do you do? Cassava or umbrella? Tubu basket. If you are not kind of clean.
But let's talk about the APC. Let's go back to the strategy that might work in the advantage of opposition. They say when you have too many people on the ship, it might sink. That the APC is looking at imploding because people are not happy. It's not, there's trouble in paradise. You look at Lagos alone. Godson is fighting with the Godfather, and the Godfather's Godfather. That sort of situation. And according to Joe and what we've witnessed, so many people are in tears after buying form for millions of naira, expression of interest, and just to be told that, sorry, we have a consensus candidate. So that's the lack of internal democracy and the unhappiness of a lot of members in the APC. Could it lead to their undoing? And do you think those unhappy people might sabotage the efforts of the party? Since INEC has said you can't jump.
Permit me to highlight that question of his to add some statistics to it. So the press has gathered that APC has 2,980 aspirants for presidential slot, 28 governorship, 109 Senate, 360 House of Representatives, 991 state assembly options. Collectively. Okay. 2,980, as it were.
In how many positions?
In all of these positions, in a total of about 28, 109, 360.
Run across states, local government.
991. That's almost about, if you put it about 1,000 plus, almost 1,000, let's say 1,450.
All I hear is ching, ching, ching.
Too many people. And then the newspapers have said that they dropped 150 at some point. I mean,
okay, well, the thing is this, let me also, because I'm a journalist, yes, I always tell people that I'm a politician in training. Okay, the reason is that...
well, nice to meet my comrade.
Thank you. Okay, you also are. That's fine. Okay, that's fine. In 2018, 2020, or there, I had a party position as the Oyo State Publicity Secretary of ADC, this same ADC of today. Now, I was a national delegate in 2018 or 2019, towards the election of 2019 to Abuja at that time. So I understand the workings of how these things are. People who are buying from, okay, I want you to understand this. In political race, there are contenders, there are pretenders. You always have them in all the parties.
Oh, yes.
Now, they know the contenders. But those who are the pretenders, what they do is that, let me go and buy the form and register their name on the list of who they are going to be favoring when they win. For instance, Johansson is going to be contesting for Bayelsa State, Bayelsa governorship, for instance. I mean, Bayelsa too. Okay, I say, but I know that Johansson has more chances. But let me know him. Let me let him know that I also exist.
You have to know I exist, and then also buy a ticket.
But,
and then,
but
let me make I buy the form. My name will
it's
come
an
out.
expensive gamble.
And that's what I'm saying. But it's a gamble, but again, it pays off.
It pays off because it's
so by the time you know that my name is there, I'm
PR
okay,
for you, yeah.
somebody is there. By the time it comes to when you win, okay, those people who are because
Yeah,
the money
and they absorb you
that
into
money
cabinets.
is also going to help your campaign.
Yeah.
So at the end, okay,
gentleman
what do we give to
Yeah,
this guy?
let's
give him contact and another. So all these who are pretenders, they are investing their money in the expression of interest. I'm telling you, because this is what, I mean, as I said, I put in training, so I know some of these things. So
I think they should even increase the nomination from 1 billion.
I don't know. No, when you do that, you reduce what is coming.
Yeah.
But if you make it easily affordable, you have more people to put in money together. They are going to be doing campaigns. They're going to be doing road shows and all that. It is from those they will.
What does the political party use
Also,
all this
merchandising,
monies for?
shirts, face cap, banners.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Say it again.
What do the political parties use all the monies they've made from?
No, I just told you. They have. They spend. I mean, some of them.
Oh, they have a secretariat to run.
Money will come in here because of jingles and commercials and all that. They will come in here. There will be billboards. There will be cars that will be branded. Vehicles that will be branded. These are the things they do.
If you recall,
yes,
even before now, last year, cars were already branded for President Bola Ahmed.
Yes, I do know that.
So-called the Eagles.
People donated some of those
so
things.
they said, okay, they donated.
Yes.
Okay.
If people donated, and these donations are investments. They
Meaning
register their name on the list to be
they hope to
remembered.
get it back.
Yeah, they will get it back. Do you invest not to get anything
Okay,
back?
let me run through quickly. Cost of nomination forms, for those who are wondering. For presidential, ADC is 90 million naira. APC 100 million. NDC pegged theirs at 60 million.
At 60,
naira.
yes, I know that.
Governorship, ADC 30 million naira. APC 50 million, still the highest. NDC 30 million. For Senate, ADC 10 million, APC 20 million, and NDC 8 million naira. For House of Representatives, ADC 5 million naira, APC 10 million naira, NDC 6 million naira, and then finally, for House of Assembly, just like the one Desmond Elliott wants to return to now, he got his form for 6 million naira. Okay, that's under APC.
Yeah.
For ADC, it's 2 million naira.
I can afford that one.
And then for NDC, it's 2.5 million.
Okay.
So all of these figures show that, I mean, this is what the prices are. However, if you have over 2,000 plus people purchasing these forms,
now multiply that and see what the party is going. So you see, that's why I said APC appear to be ahead of everybody.
Right.
Because they will have the mega money to them what you want to do. They have mega money to be their commercials to be run on TV
this,
every minute.
And then there's this story of 800 billion naira that has been.
There's so much
that's been
that's
going
why I
on
said
in
they
the
appear to be
media.
ahead of everyone. Yes.
I hope you don't mind me. You know, I'm sorry.
Go back.
No, go on,
I want
go on,
to
it's fine.
piggyback off what you said. When we look at all this money he's mentioned, right? It begs to ask a question whether or not Makinde went to the start and bought an express ticket, an express form or interest form for APM, right? And then it will now be concerning if he didn't send that letter.
The one I said
right?
to the INEC.
So let's work on what if he didn't send the letter to INEC. What then will be the future of this alliance and Makinde's bid?
Is that a question for me?
Yes, sir.
It will be a journey to nowhere.
Hey.
The reason I'm saying so is that there will be confusion amongst, even within this rank. For instance, I think he had railroaded, in the manner of speaking, all the people who are House of Assembly, House of Representatives, Oyo and all that, to queue behind him. So all these people are going to be asked to pay this, pay that for what? For APC or for PDP or for APM? APM has no candidate in right now. They have no House of Rep member. I don't know of any, even Oyo State. So they just what they did was to adopt a party. In order for him not to throw it, as I said, the PDP brand is afraid to let go of the PDP brand. So what he does, he wants to do, let me align with them. I am not defecting. Because for me, I think I would have preferred Seyi Makinde to have defected to APM and make APM also bring it to national reckoning, he would have had people to start rolling from there and to join
Just like what Governor Adeleke did.
Well, to accord, right?
To accord.
To accord.
Well, that's state level. I'm talking about national level.
But what if there was a letter at INEC? What if INEC has a letter? What if this he's going according to?
Well, there will be a recalibration of the whole thing. The question will be, because you see, what I told you, I played politics.
Yeah.
You see, why are parties always eager to have A in their initials? Because it helps the uneducated. When they look at the length, they get confused. They just print on A because that's the top. That's why you have ADC fighting to have A, APM. So would they? If it's PDP-APM, which one would they do? Is it APM, PDP, or PDP-APM? Because the P is down the ballot. So these are the things that there is some technicality they have to work on. If they do send the letter, INEC may not grant it. Because you know why? Seyi Makinde has no right under the sun to want to take portion of PDP to join the APM. He has no right under the sun. It's not the national. Okay, yes. When did the party meet that they ratified it, and where's the? I mean, when you have a meeting, where's the resolution? The MOU. No, not MOU. Not MOU is different. Not MOU. That's an understanding. This is a resolution. When did they resolve that they were going to have a marriage?
Just like when CPC and ACN came together to become.
Exactly. Then what did they do? They came all together. Those other ones, they had their nomenclature subsumed under a particular one. You didn't have a CPC on the ballot.
And adopted.
You don't have APM on the ballot. They died natural death, and then they raised the flag of APC up, which is the brand all of them were. So
maybe the flag.
So which flag would they propose?
But he said he doesn't have a right to do.
He doesn't have the right
because he's a governor.
He's the governor. It's not.
What national working committee is he working?
What resolution? At what point did they resolve that APC or PDP was going to have an alliance with APM? It's a whole. That's why I said what's his name? Makinde is always. You know, he's always faltering. If that word is falter, right? Yeah.
Yes,
correct.
But just before we wrap up, looking at the opposition and the state of play right now,
yes,
and the political temperature, is there any hope of an alliance or a grand alliance or what's the other name?
Collaboration
of
coalition.
These opposition parties coming together, or the train has the sheep has sailed.
Or the train has left the station.
Yes.
Whichever. I know. But I see that's where we always have a problem in this country, that you have this personal aggrandizement and all that. Shouldn't parties come together, Obi, all of them come together to say, why can we, if we indeed want APC out of government, can we all join together? My personal ambition, let me put it down. Let's look for a marketable candidate who has a brand that covers all the country. That's what APC did in 2020.
Charles, have you seen the number of churches on my street?
But church, that's on the religious plane. I'm talking about political. What did they do in 2014?
Yeah.
They Tinubu was big enough. What's his name? Atiku was big enough. All of them were big enough. But what did they do? They all came together and said, okay, why can we market? Can we begin to promote a brand-worthy market, a brand-worthy personality? Mm-hmm. And they went to Buhari and said, Buhari, come, we want to market you. Come and fly a flag for us. Because they knew he had national appeal. And they all buried their personal ambition. That of APM, that of the new PDP, that of CPC, they all buried it and had the flag up. They had the letter up for a particular brand. What is this one? Obi is a big brand, yeah. Kwakwa is a big brand. Atiku is a big brand. Can they all say, let us market one of them? But all of them, you see now, APC is going to, ADC, NDC, they're going to be sharing their votes, and then APC might coast home with all this arrangement.
Well, we'll wait
early
and
in the
see.
day.
I said mine, that's what I'm using mine.
That's a very good one.
Yes.
But thank you so much, Mr. Charles. Always a pleasure.
Solid
Political profits.
analysis.
Yes, I mean, he's prophesied already. And those are good angles to really
Thank you. Yes.
where was the resolution, especially from the National Working Committee?
And they were going to do what they're doing.
But we'll wait. We're sure that the governor of Oyo State will come up with answers, especially.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Always a pleasure.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you. Thank you.
But let's tell you very quickly that Peter Obi, a former governor of Anambra State and 2023 Labour Party presidential candidate, has vowed to serve only a single 4-year term if elected in 2027. Now, by single 4-year term, it simply means if Nigerians decide to vote him in, he will just do 4 years. Bakam in simple street language, and it's done. But he stated his commitment, and he said it is driven by the need for national stability, insisting he would not stay a day longer, even under extreme pressure, emphasizing that his tenure would focus strictly on the immediate needs of the federation. So what if he's asked to stay? But anyway, he argues that the North-South rotational system is vital for political balance and national unity, adding that leadership is defined by achievements rather than longevity. That's what he says. His statement follows the NDC's recent resolution to zone his presidential ticket to the South. He was live with 60 Minutes. He was live on 60 Minutes with Mr. K, and he divulged and stated a whole lot. Take a look.
Yes. I will not stay a day with a gun in my head longer than 4 years.
Okay.
So I can even stay less.
All right. So there you have it. He will not stay a day longer. That's what he says. But what do you make of that statement? Well, that's from Peter Obi. Don't forget, too, that the former governor and also former Minister of Transportation, His Excellency Rotimi Amechi, also said he will be doing just one single term, which is 4 years. But guess what? The Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Kashim Shettima, has commended the Northeast Development Commission's Renewed Hope Baby Support Program, describing it as a strategic initiative aimed at closing child identity, healthcare and social protection gaps across Nigeria. Speaking at the presidential villa in Abuja during the presentation of the program's execution framework, the vice president said that the initiative aligns with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's declaration of 2026 as a year of the family and social protection. The initiative is expected to provide structured identity, registration, healthcare participation, and long-term development opportunities for Nigerian children, especially in the Northeast.
But it's rightly captured in this presentation. We're having 7.6 million births every year. And half of them are not captured in any system. So I will urge you to go and fine-tune this program in line with your mandate for a peaceful society, healthy citizens, and educated populace.
One of the things that we also are looking at in this program is to bring in volunteers who would consistently help us in checking up on the mothers to be sure that they are actually, and encouraging them to go through some of these steps, ensure that their babies are immunized, ensure that they go for the health checks that are necessary. And those volunteers will become canvassers, because they would be the ones to be able to follow the last mile all the way to the homes of these families.
Well, a lot has been said, and we look forward to see what will come out of these stories. Don't forget, we've talked about the vice president right there applauding the initiative. And then we also looked at Mr. Peter Obi's interview yesterday, and we'll be looking at more stories here on Breakfast Central. The political landscape is heating up. The PDP is also looking at carrying out primaries, especially for some of its members. And we're talking about a faction, even though many would say there's no faction. So we'll talk about all of these and more. Do us a favor, stick around. We have more coming your way here on Breakfast Central. Let's tell you what's coming up next. Makinde's PDP faction, APM. I will look at that story as well. Adelabu declares for Oyo governorship spot. Federal government unveils a learner tracking platform. That's one story to look into. And IGP TED Fund partnership. Yes, a very interesting story. Stay with us.
Hey, welcome back. Let's get on to one of the top stories for this morning. and it has to do with politics. Now, the Wike-led PDP faction has officially commenced screening of presidential, governorship and National Assembly aspirants ahead of the 2027 elections, deepening the party's internal crisis. Committee chaired by former governors Okezie Ikpeazu and Ahmed Makarfi are overseeing the Abuja screenings while state-level exercises continue nationwide.
The move highlights the sharp divide between the Wike-backed bloc and rival factions led by Governor Seyi Makinde and Tanimu Turaki. This comes in as Governor Seyi Makinde of the Tanimu Turaki faction declared his interest in the 2027 presidential race in a collaboration, or you could say, coalition with the APM. But joining us for today's conversation, we do have a PDP National Publicity Secretary who is live in our Abuja studios. We have Mr. Jongudu Haruna who joins us. Good morning, Mr. Haruna. Thank you for being here.
Good morning. Nice to be here this morning.
Good. Let's start off first by asking, I think the first question that will come to mind will be the CTC. Before I go ahead to ask how the screening exercise is going. We've seen different interpretations of the CTC. What do you make of that CTC that came from the Federal High Court regarding your political party, the PDP? Does it grant you the powers to go ahead as the recognized body or faction, or does it actually still put the question in limbo?
Well, the CTC did not come from the Federal High Court. As you said, it came from the Supreme Court of Nigeria.
Okay.
Well, despite having some reservations about the CTC in circulation, because as at the Friday that our team of lawyers went to obtain the CTC, they were told that the official CTC was not released. But we were surprised seeing that the CTC was flying left, right, and center on the media space. So we had to quickly issue a statement drawing the attention of the general public that that CTC was not officially released. But however, assuming that it was the original or it emanated from the Supreme Court, we were bold to state that the contents of that CTC did not in any way support the Tanimu and his Tanimu Turaki and his friends. The jubilation in their camp was only an attempt to further mislead Nigerians and particularly party members. The judgment did not at anywhere, any day, any time, affirm the suspension of any officer of the party, because the issues before the Federal High Court up to the Court of Appeal was never about the suspension of any officer. As a matter of fact, there was no mention, there was no question for determination before all the three courts, Federal High Court, Court of Appeal, and Supreme Court, as to who was suspended or who was not suspended. The questions for determinations were purely, was the convention in Ibadan valid or not valid? And then the other questions were as to who was to legally represent the PDP at the Federal High Court, Court of Appeal, and subsequently Supreme Court. So the justices now said, having dismissed the main appeal, they said in the circumstance of that judgment, there was no need to delve into the issues of the cross appeal. And the cross appeal was simply a question of determining who was rightfully the lawyer or the counsel to represent the PDP. So the CTC judgment only reaffirmed the position of the Court of Appeal and the decision of the Court of Appeal reaffirming the position of the Federal High Court judgment. So, and what was the judgment of the Federal High Court? Simply nullifying, restraining the PDP from conducting the Ibadan Convention, pending when certain administrative and legal issues were complied. And unfortunately, the party under Ilya Damagun failed to comply with such directives of the court. So therefore, the Court of Appeal nullified that convention. And you could see clearly from the CTC, the Supreme Court justices frowned seriously at the conduct, behaviors of people who flagrantly refuse to obey simple court order. The Supreme Court now said that having even disrespected the judgment of a court, you cannot still come back to the court and be asking for justice. If you wanted justice, you ought to have respected the judgment of the Federal High Court. If you're dissatisfied, you follow the due process by appealing at the higher court, which is the appellate court, and not going to another court of the same jurisdiction. And if you look at the CTC of the Supreme Court itself, you will see that the justices, having been very, very angry with, by the conduct of behaviors of the lawyers and the appellants, they did not even go into the main merits of the case. They said, no, you are disobedient children, you are disobedient citizens. You cannot come back to us. Why didn't you obey the judgment of the Federal High Court? Coming back to us to say you want justice? No, you cannot. So, and I think that is a very landmark decision of the Supreme Court. It will further enthrone rule of law, and it will make sure that litigants don't go up and down into forum shopping, all in the name of trying to subvert the position of the law. So I think the Supreme Court judgment is only been misinterpreted by people who wanted to deliberately mislead and misinform Nigerians so as to gain sympathy. But unfortunately, lies don't last forever. There will always be a day where such lies will be exposed. And a few days after all these shenanigans, misinterpreting the judgment, the way some kindergarten politicians have done, Nigerians have come to realize that it was all staged to push a wrong narrative in the media space. So we as responsible leaders, we were not perturbed. We only pushed our own position so that Nigerians will know that indeed what Kabiru Tanimu and the rest were pushing out is not the correct position. It is even funny how respected Nigerians, lawyers that have not cited even the CTC.
Sorry.
Were,
yes. I don't know if you can hear me, maybe because of time. I do get your explanation of the CTC. I just want us to get it out of the way. So initially, I mean, my apologies, I had mentioned the Federal High Court and the CDT, Supreme Court and all that. I mean, that's what the judiciary is doing to us as well. A lot of confusion here and there, but it's fine. I want to ask, you recently had pulled back a case file on the Secretary Siminalayi, okay? And that was pulled out from the Federal High Court. You were citing that there was no need for it any longer. However, can you also confirm, before we move on to, the other questions my colleagues need to ask, can you confirm that the March event that was held in Abuja as well, the CTC also did not accept that, did not highlight that as one that's acceptable? Can you also confirm that, or was that particular convention approved? Because you recall that the CTC also highlighted some points that Siminalayi, as it were, was equally suspended, and then the new people that came under him were not also recognized. Or is it a different CTC that you have?
I do not think you were reading or you read the CTC of the Supreme Court. At no point did the CTC of the Supreme Court did mention suspension of Senator Samuel Anyu. Not at all. You must have been reading from the fake CTC that
so how many CTCs do we have?
By a different group.
So how many CTCs do we have out there?
What, pardon?
How many CTCs do we have out there?
And is there should be one CTC certainly coming out from the Supreme Court. And that is why we said the media organizations need to be very, very careful. You can reach out to the Supreme Court to equally obtain your own CTC. Just apply and obtain that. There was no mention whatsoever of affirmation of any suspension, because the issues of suspension was never an issue brought before the Supreme Court. And I can tell you that even the Court of Appeal, where it just mentioned that Ajibade was suspended and therefore could not have authorized any legal representation, the Court of Appeal further mentioned that the legality or otherwise of that suspension is not the concern of this court, because this is an internal party affairs. So the Court of Appeal could not have made a decision out of that, having regards to the fact that in their own admission, they said it is an internal party affairs. And indeed, it is, or it was an internal party affairs. So as to the issue of Abuja Convention, the Abuja Convention was never brought before any court. It was not in contention, and it was conducted in full support of the law. It had the backing of court judgment. It was supervised by INEC, and there was nowhere, anywhere, that the Abuja Convention was nullified. It was just the figment of the imagination of some baby lawyers who I don't know, with due respect. So some of them, if they speak, you will begin to wonder if at all they attended the four walls of law classes and the law school. There was no mention of Abuja Convention. And I can tell you that the Federal High Court Ibadan judgment, which recognized the interim National Working Committee headed by Abdurrahman Mohammed, directed INEC to also recognize the interim National Working Committee. And that was the basis where we found our legal backing in conducting that particular Abuja Convention. We are not lawless people. We are people who respect the rule of law. We are people who really want to see that this party, the PDP, and democracy in Nigeria survives. We are people who want to see that we provide an alternative platform for Nigerians where we can peacefully take away power from the APC.
Now, Mr. Haruna, let's talk about the current screening exercise that is happening in your party. Has it been so far? And how many presidential candidates have shown interest, presidential aspirants, I beg your pardon, in getting their forms, the expression of interest form in your party?
Yes, we had only one aspirant who picked our nomination form and was screened yesterday. He is
Professor Sandy Ono.
Distinguished Senator Sandy Ono. He happens to be our only sole presidential aspirant. He was screened yesterday. And what will interest you about the screening exercise is that it turned out to be like a fun fair kind of a thing. From the Wadata Plaza national headquarters of the party, on the final date for the submission of nomination forms, you could see the celebrations there. Same applies to yesterday when where the screening exercise for Guba and presidential aspirant took place. You will never believe it. You will never know that you can't even differentiate the PDP of today of yesterday that we had a phone fair activities around the headquarters, and the PDP of 1998, 1999.
Mr. Haruna, a lot of critics of your party would say, you know, the reasons for the celebrations is because there's no formidable challenger, and Professor Sunday Ono, with all due respect, is not one that will unseat President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, that the PDP has its plans, and within the heart of the PDP, their support is to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Has the FCT minister, who is a vocal supporter of Mr. President, has said, and they said, you know, fielding Professor Sunday Ono is just a charade. How would you respond to that?
How can that be a charade, for goodness sake? And how would we be celebrating, dancing, and eating and drinking simply because we want to go and contest elections and fail? That is far from the truth. The honest truth is that Professor Sunday Ono, very energetic at 60, has all it takes to win elections. And the PDP, as presently, now that we have found our rhythm, we have found our footing, all disputes settled, I can tell you that we will fight to the end. We will do it. It is not charity. It is not child's play. We cannot, we have elders amongst us, and how can we be parading someone that we feel cannot win elections? Not at all. This is another aspect of the propaganda that has been, you know, pushed into the media space by the Kabiru Tanimu group. Initially, they said we will not field presidential candidates. Now we have fielded one. People are complaining. Where are those who feel they could give Asiwaju a run for their money? Why didn't they come forward? Did anyone complain to you that he came to buy nomination form and he was refused? If there is anyone who feels he could or he can defeat President Asiwaju, why didn't he come forward to purchase his nomination form? We are a serious political party. We are not out there to deceive Nigerians or to play around. The position of the Honorable Minister has always been his own personal position. The Honorable Minister is not a member of the National Working Committee of the party.
Okay.
And the NWC of the party has taken decision, and it is, I have always said that this propaganda, lies have expiry date. It will get to a time where you will see us going from state to state, 36 states in the country, and FCT campaigning and canvassing. The party has done its part, or will do its part. It is left for Nigerians to come out and vote massively for the PDP.
Okay.
So,
sir, you are the Publicity Secretary, National Publicity Secretary of the party. So we want to thank you for coming on here, because I think you're the best person to address this head on. I'm sure you must have seen in the news from yesterday, the Governor, Seyi Makinde, the Governor of Oyo State, him aligning with the APM and now expressing, you know, his interest to run for presidency under this alliance. Does the NWC of PDP know about this alliance? Are they in support of it? Or is this move a personal move from him?
Certainly, it's a personal move by Governor Seyi Makinde. And the best way to describe Seyi Makinde is simply to see him as a drowning man. There's nothing he has not done to destroy the PDP. And thankfully, he has been exposed yesterday. If he has faith in what he has been doing, and he felt he had constituted a legally recognized interim national working committee headed by Kabiru Tanimu, why did he run to Cassava political party to pick a presidential nomination form? But he ought to have stayed in that PDP and contest alongside all his supporters. But it is surprising and funny, right. Governor Bala Mohammed on one hand and Seyi Makinde on the other hand, claiming to be patriotic PDP members. They wanted to destroy the party. They have failed. Yeah, their agenda have fallen flat. Right, now they have moved to APM. I want to categorically state that the PDP they claimed was in alliance is never the PDP that is
But your
legally
logo is
recognized by-
behind, if you can see in that video there, that is the video, if you can just pull it up, you can see the logo of the PDP right behind him. There you go, right behind him there. And also there are also members there, most of the attendants and spectators have the emblem of the PDP, that's the umbrella there as well. You can see that on their shirts as well. So if you're saying this is a personal move by him and it's because he's aggrieved of the aggrieved of the party, then what would you say about those he's absorbed into this alliance?
You see, that is fraudulent, that is criminal, that is 419. And we have already written to the relevant security agencies. Makinde was expelled last year, November. And for him to continue to make use of the PDP to deceive Nigerians, I think it is high time that he desists from doing so. Immunity is not something that will make him as a responsible leader in Oyo State to continue to act in this manner. He should know that one day his immunity will elapse and that he will face the full wrath of the law. We want to state clearly and categorically that the issues of alliance did not emanate from the PDP. The PDP has not gone into any alliance agreement discussion with any opposition political party or the ruling party for that matter. So we were shocked, we were surprised that he would be behaving in this manner. He should know that there are younger ones looking up to him. This is not politics. He should know that the politics of 40, 30 years ago is over. We are playing digital politics now, and what he is doing is too analog. So, and he will continue to fail.
When we talk about alliance, we also have to bring in River State. We have seen somewhat of a rainbow, what's the term, Benga?
Coalition.
Rainbow coalition, there we go, between the PDP and the APC in River State. And that is the home state of the Honorable Minister of the FCT, who is a stalwart within the PDP. What would you also make of that, of what's happening in River State that is somewhat now creating an internal crisis within the party?
Well, in the case of Rivers, did you see the APC coming out to denounce going into anything called a rainbow coalition? Did you see the PDP rejecting that? So it's a different ball game altogether. What Makinde is doing is without the consent, approval, and knowledge of the People's Democratic Party. But in the case of Rivers, I can tell you that assuming there was any issue, any disapproval, the two political parties will come out to issue statements. But till today, I do not think the two political parties have distanced themselves from the Rainbow Coalition.
So let me ask.
And you need to know that the minister is acting in his individual capacity or official capacity as the honorable minister and appointee of the president.
So
and not.
Permit me to break into your conversation. Does the PDP have the right as a party to go into a coalition with the APC, but does not have the right as a party to go into a coalition with the APM? I remember also, if you say the minister, you're talking about the FCT minister, talking about former governor here as well, rather a governor here as well. So we're talking about Governor Seyi Makinde, and then we're talking about the minister, Nyesom Wike. If you look at it, they're both members of the PDP. Or is Seyi Makinde not a member of the PDP anymore? And if he is, if the FCT minister says he's going to a coalition with the APC in River State, Governor Seyi Makinde says he's also going into a coalition in Oyo State with APM. Why is his own quite different and unacceptable?
Yes, there's one of difference between the two scenarios. One, let me repeat that Seyi Makinde is not a member of the PDP and cannot act on behalf of the PDP.
Is there any...
And assuming...
We saw him on stage right after the Ibadan summit, when there was a part of where they all were speaking to the aggrieved members of the party. He was on stage there. I think that was the national convention that happened earlier on this year. He was there, and he seemed to have been moving with the PDP. So are you now saying that he's been completely expelled, and all that was happening in state that played out on national television was just, as you said, digital politics?
If you recall, there was a day in November last year where Makinde and Bala Mohammed invaded the National Secretariat of the party. And that same day, the NEC meeting, I think 103rd NEC meeting of the party was going on. And so because of that, their barbaric behaviors, the NEC decided to expel the two of them alongside other former members of the party. And that is why I am insisting, and I am telling you, you invited me here as the spokesperson of the PDP, and I am telling you the position of the PDP, and then you are telling me what someone has gone on in his own state to do. So I am authoritatively telling you that Makinde was not a member of the PDP as at last year, November, to date. So the different scenarios is that Rivers State Governor, the Honorable Minister of the FCT, whatever he did in Rivers was his own personal position as the Honorable Minister and appointee of the President. Makinde, in his own case, number one, he is not a member of the PDP. And assuming he is a member of the PDP, he did not have the authority as a governor to negotiate, go into alliance on behalf of the National Working Committee of the party. So all these things are happening because Seyi Makinde has an agenda to destabilize and not to allow the PDP function. And like I keep saying, the minister of the FCT, despite his romance with the President Bola Asiwaju, you need to also understand it's not a romance between himself and the APC, but himself and President Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. He has never said that he has negotiated anything on behalf of the PDP. Makinde cannot do so. The NWC have not authorized anybody, and it is only the NWC that has the right to go into any agreement or any negotiations or alliances, and that has not happened. And we are not saying the PDP is not open to doing so with other opposition political parties with a view to taking over power from the APC. But whatever alliances, whatever merger or discussions must be done within the ambit of the law. If you want, I can't even understand what Makinde did, and the media is taking it as an alliance. Okay. It is not. It is not. Makinde is not representing the PDP.
Okay,
assuming he is still a member of the PDP. He has not had any discussion with the National Working Committee of his own political party, that is the Kabiru Chanimu Interim National Working Committee.
Thank you very much, Honorable Haruna, for clarifying the air on that. Your party, the People's Democratic Party, held sway. I mean, at one point they boasted to be the largest political party in Black Africa for 16 years. I mean, that's really, really massive, the most populous black nation in the world. And just a few months to elections, as at now, today when we speak, there's only one candidate, one aspirant that has picked up his form to run under the banner of a party that held sway for 16 years, Professor Sandy Ono. And many are wondering, why is this so? Is there something is amiss here? Two questions. First one is the expression of interest in nomination forms for the presidency in your party. Has it officially closed? And the second, I mean, it's very similar to what I asked earlier, because it's very hard for a number of people to wrap their head around it, that in the future, Professor Sunday Ono will drop his ambition and endorse President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Please, could you answer those questions?
The sales of nomination forms, not only for the president, but all other offices have closed about three or 4 days ago. We have officially issued timetable, and the party had made some adjustments in order to give room for party members to express their interest and equally purchase the nomination form. So the sales of form have officially closed. And what really interests you is that distinguished Senator Sunday Ono, in the first week of the commencement of sales of form, came and picked his nomination form. The PDP did not prevent anyone from obtaining nomination forms. And I want to categorically tell you that Sunday Ono will not step down to endorse any candidate come 2027. Sunday Ono will be on the ballot. Nigerians will vote for Professor Sunday Ono. And I am appealing to Nigerians that if indeed they are yearning for change, Sunday Ono will be on the ballot, and we are appealing to them to vote for the PDP come 2027.
Okay. So we can rightly say that, can we confirm here, or can you confirm to us that if we have a Governor Seyi Makinde on the ballot, and then of course we have Honorable Ono as well on the ballot, it's going to be like the PDP coming into the 2027 race? Maybe Governor Seyi Makinde would have to focus on using the APM logo, while Honorable Ono focuses on using the PDP logo. Isn't that a win-win for the PDP?
How can that be a win-win for you? I think I don't like it when you continue to ascribe PDP membership to Governor Seyi Makinde.
I'm doing that because I just, okay, so let me explain why we're doing that. I mean, just to clarify things. You mentioned that he was suspended in November.
He was expelled.
He was expelled, I beg your pardon, in November. There's also letters of expulsion of the FCT minister and, of course, Secretary Anyanwu as well, Senator Anyanwu.
That was sent to them.
Sent to them as well. So there seems to be a back and forth. And we've looked at the Supreme Court's judgment, which simply says what? Everybody, everything has been, doused. Let's return everything. We did not recognize this convention. Simply put, I mean, in layman's term, everything just returned back to normal and keep everything the way it is, which simply means that whoever may have suspended whoever, of course, remains where it is. I may be wrong, but that's my basic interpretation. Albeit what it is, my question is, okay, since the governor hasn't come out to say, listen, I have officially left the PDP, I'm moving to APM. Yesterday he said, we are having a coalition. And Nigerians are asking, just in front of me here, saying, if it was good for Peter, it should as well be good for Paul, because Peter had a coalition with the APC in River State. They called it a Rainbow Coalition. And then Paul is having a coalition with the APM, which I don't know what they call it. But however, since Paul is still in this quote, Seyi Makinde is still in the PDP, then maybe it's going to be a win-win for the PDP.
Well, before I answer your question, I want to correct an impression or a wrong narrative. You just mentioned that the Supreme Court said everyone should go back here. Where in that judgment? We have repeatedly asked, show us where in that judgment, the page, the paragraph, where the Supreme Court said vacuum have been created in the PDP. Show us where the Supreme Court made mention that this and this and this convention held in March 2026 Abuja Convention was nullified. I don't know where media organizations get the interpretation of this Supreme Court judgment. I believe it is your own interpretation, but go and find out from the Independent National Electoral Commission who are the legally recognized leadership of the PDP. I think we have said enough about whether the Supreme Court judgment have affirmed any suspension or not. Then coming back to what is good for P Square, Peter and Paul, I want to say, and I will be bold to say this, that the PDP is PDP and APM can never be PDP. Makinde is running under APM, and there is no two ways about it. Makinde has defected from wherever he was, certainly not PDP, back to APM. He was not a member of the PDP as at the time he moved to APM. All he has been doing was to create confusion where there is none. And you, the media organizations, had the ones helping him to achieve his own theatrics. We are not bothered about that. All that had happened in the last administration of Damagun has ended as at December last year. I am not here to discuss what happened during Damagun's era or during Damagun's time. All I am telling you is that I am speaking for the PDP, and in our records, we do not have Seyi Makinde as a member of the PDP.
Mr.
And
Haruna,
I can tell you also that Makinde will not get to a third of the votes from Oyo State people.
Mr. Haruna,
He has not explained what he did with the funds he collected from the president. Is it 50 billion or 30 billion? He has not explained that. And I'm sure the people of Oyo will ask him this question at the right time.
Mr. Haruna, the PDP is, every time it has run since losing the elections to the APC, it has always come a close second during the presidential elections. This time around, it's now likely looking like, the NDC will be running with a Peter Kwankwaso ticket, and now we have the ADC with, former member of your party, former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, and now we have Senator Sandy Onor from Cross River State. I do have to ask you, do you think that the PDP has it in them to clinch a fair share of that vote, so much so to come first and maybe take back the seat of power come 2027? Can you make bold, are you confident that the PDP stands a chance against all four of these individuals I'm named?
Yes, these other individuals you mentioned are respected Nigerians and great politicians. They indeed have a stake. They indeed can spring surprises. But I can tell you that, yes, despite the PDP passing through turbulent times, of which it's the only party that will pass through such kind of experiences and still remain intact. Other political parties, if they had experienced what we just recently witnessed or experienced, they would have disappeared into the thin air. So right now that we have just evolved out of this crisis, we will do everything possible, and we are putting our strategies close to our chest. I can tell you, and I will be bold to tell you, that we are not hoping to be second. We are hoping to be first. Nigerians, we are appealing to you, give PDP the chance. We know we have erred, we know we have done mistakes, but please give us the chance, give us the opportunity. Professor Sandy Ono is a very nice gentleman who has the masses, he has the people at heart. He is well educated, he has foresight and vision, and I can guarantee Nigerians that if Sandy Ono is given the chance and PDP given the opportunity, we will make things better in this country. So irrespective of the credentials of ADC, who do not even know their direction at the moment, NDC that is just coming with its headquarters in a personal residence in Bayelsa, or is it Metama here, they are nowhere near the PDP. And the Obi Kwankwaso ticket is also another ticket that...
You haven't said anything about the APC.
So the race is going to be between President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and Professor Sandy Ono of the PDP.
Okay.
And, yeah, go ahead, please.
We wait and see. Fortunately, we've run out of time.
Yeah.
It was a pleasure speaking with you. Thank you so much.
we also want to use this medium to ask, I mean, clearly, because we've seen questions on social media. Our viewers would love to have Professor or Senator or His Excellency, if care is not taken, because you've said that he's going to win. Sandy or not, join us here live on Breakfast Central. So we'll throw that to you. We'll throw that back to you based on the request of our viewers who say, bring that man and let's have a little tete-a-tete with him to see if he's ready to go head-to-head with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu as well.
Absolutely. The Nigerians want to hear what he has to say, his manifesto.
Certainly, I will get the incoming president, Professor Distinguished Sandy Ono, the original caterpillar, right in your studio, and I can bet you will enjoy it.
Thank you very
so
much. We look forward to that. We'll schedule that date next week.
And thank you for your patience, for being so kind and being gracious and patient with us. Thank you, sir.
All right.
Thank you. Most grateful.
Breakfast Central continues. We'll bring to you breakfast headlines up next. Stay with us.
You're watching Breakfast Central. Time for us to bring you the breakfast headlines. I am Judith TV. We begin with the news this morning with the All Progressives Congress announcing the postponement of its House of Representatives primary election for the 2027 general elections. The party says the exercise will now hold on Saturday, May 16th, 2026, instead of the earlier scheduled date, adding that the adjustment affects only the House of Representatives exercise, while other primary election dates remain unchanged. Meanwhile, President Bola Tinubu has urged APC members to prioritize unity and sportsmanship as nationwide primaries commence Friday. He also warned against malicious conduct that could undermine the party's strength ahead of the elections. The president described the ongoing primaries as a test of unity, resilience, and strength within the ruling party. Still on election matters, stakeholders of the All Progressives Congress in Borno State are intensifying efforts to adopt a consensus candidate ahead of the party's primaries, with Governor Babangana Zulum describing the move as a step towards strengthening unity within the party. Party leaders, elders, and political appointees from across the state met at the government house to deliberate on strategies aimed at maintaining internal harmony as preparations for the primaries gather momentum. Governor Zulum also commended stakeholders for supporting the party's preferred governorship consensus candidate, Mustafa Gubio, ahead of the forthcoming primaries.
Vice President shirin leader namu ne ba zan ci amana shi bai da muka tashi da shi ne zamu gama lafiya lau insha Allah har gaba zamu tafi lafiya bayan haka abinda ya sa muka zo zamu yi primary consensus da direct consensus shine za a ci a bar ma wani in Allah ya yarda in ba bari ba za a je direct primary in zai yiwu za mu yi consensus in ba yiwu ba za mu je direct a yi hakuri za mu ba appointment wanda ba samu aiki ba akwai wanda ya kamata ba za mu bar su haka ba za mu ba su aiki a federal a state duka za mu yi kokari insha Allah ba fada ni na cakara disqualify kowa don saboda disqualification in muna so za a disqualification amma wannan munafurci ne ka sa mutum a lungu ka san bai da laifi ka ce a'a ka disqualify na shi ba ta sunani wanda ka ba shi hakuri
da sai da sauri muna so mu yi process amma wani wajen sun kaɗe ma ba su da wasu da wannan magana mu ya za mu yi process da gwamna wannan ma mu gode da Allah mu gode da iyayenmu mu gode da dirasa kuma wayannan abubuwa tun da kun gani kowa ya gani duka wanda suna so gwamna na ma ya kai goma sha wani ni ganin kai na yana so
Meanwhile, Presidency has reacted to Peter Obi's promise of a single 4-year term, saying it is practically impossible and no one should believe it. Reacting on Thursday in a post on X, the special advisor to the president on information and strategy, Bayo Onanuga, dismissed the promise, insisting that the Obi's past political decisions shows a pattern of broken loyalty. He said Obi had previously pledged loyalty to the All Progressives Grand Alliance, APCA, while serving as governor of Anambra State, but later defected to the People's Democratic Party, PDP. As we head towards the general elections come 2027, former Vice President Atiku Abubakar and former Minister of Transportation Rotimi Amechi have submitted their presidential nomination forms at the African Democratic Congress National Secretariat in Abuja. Atiku says his bid is aimed at restoring national prosperity and rebuilding Nigeria through a broader political movement. Amechi, on his part, pledged to reposition the country within 4 years if elected, stressing competence and experience as key factors in leadership selection. Their entries come as the ADC continues to attract prominent politicians ahead of the 2027 elections. Let's head outside of Nigeria and Africa at large as let's head outside of Nigeria as several people are feared dead following a landslide at a mining site in Western Central African Republic near the border with Cameroon. Local residents and officials say the incident occurred at the Mbri mining site in the Nana Mambiri prefecture on May 6th. Reports indicate that many victims remain buried under debris as rescue efforts continue in the remote area. Mining activities at the site have since been suspended, while authorities are yet to issue an official statement on the disaster. We hope for safe recovery of the victims. Meanwhile, the United States is stepping up diplomatic efforts to preserve the fragile ceasefire between Israel and Lebanon ahead of its scheduled expiration on Sunday. Israeli and Lebanese officials held talks at the U.S. State Department in Washington, D.C., as tensions continue to simmer along the border. The discussions come amid renewed violence following months of conflict involving Israel and Hezbollah. U.S. President Donald Trump also expressed optimism over China's role in ongoing discussions related to Iran. American officials described the first day of talks as productive, with further negotiations expected to continue. And those are the top stories we can take at this hour. Join us at 12 noon for the 12 Report. The Breakfast Central continues with the gang. I'm Judith Achibi. Stay with us.
All right. Well, the conversation is indeed hot in the studio. But let me mention that you're about to hear it. But we do have our newspaper guest who's here with us. Thank you so much, Mr. Peter Obi, international journalist of repute. Thank you for being here. We've not heard antebellum. Please give us some antebellum.
A living legend.
That's right. That's what it is. That's what it is. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. You may wonder why the conversation is heating up in the studio before we came on air, but let's go straight to the papers and you'll find out. Let's start off with our very first paper, which definitely has a little, you could say, sprinkle of some of the conversations that we're having or we've had. So far, so good, right from the morning. Let's look at the Punch for a weekend. That's where we're starting from. Let's look at the Punch as we begin. Fierce lobbying tension as APC primaries begin. I think this is a major conversation that everyone is having. The figures are indeed huge. Over 2,000 plus members of the APC vying for official or electoral, roles and seats. Yet, we did see in the paper 150 were not able to make it. The issue of consensus, which has gotten a lot of persons talking. Oyo State is not agreeing to that. They say, no, we're not agreeing to this consensus.
Not only Oyo State, there are many states.
Aside from Bono has scaled through because it's
only Bono now that we have sort of
an agreement.
Explicit
endorsement. Everybody
and written by the elders, stakeholders, politicians.
But in Lagos State, no, apparently, what's his name? Held his campaign yesterday.
No,
I just held his campaign yesterday.
It's a joker.
But his campaign was heavily attended yesterday.
Bros, I've always told you.
Or is it in line with one of our guests who said this morning that there are some people who...
I've always told you guys here that there's nothing is fishy. I don't say he's a comedian. He has some money. I'm telling you now.
Strong words.
In Lagos politics,
running...
forget.
Somebody that has got nomination
in Lagos State, the leaders have endorsed unanimously the deputy governor, Hamzat. The person that can challenge, that will have challenged Hamzat successfully, is the former governor, Akim Ambode, my boss. They have challenged him successfully. If Ambode had come out, Lagos, there will be tension in the state now. But Ambode understood the nature and politics of Lagos State. The leaders have spoken. the GAC, the mandate group, the Justice Group Forum, they've spoken and they've endorsed this man. Constitutionally, and by the electoral act, I just say has a right to contest. He bought a form. He went to Abuja for screening. He has been cleared. Let him go to the field. Let him go and contest. But I can tell you, at the end of the day, he will not contest.
What if he picks him as a running mate?
So what do you think he's doing?
Pardon?
What is he doing?
He's just trying to play game, to show that I have the money to throw around. And the party will not stop him. One thing about these people, this APC, progressive in Lagos State, they allow you to throw your money around. Let people eat.
Because Ambode also did that. He
did that before they endorsed Amzat. I'm telling you the truth. Is that what is going on here?
Yeah.
Bros.
Yes.
Don't pontificate. What they don't know about.
Who could be the running mate for Amzat? For Amzat.
We are hearing many
names.
Be a woman, not a man.
We're hearing
be a woman Christian.
Yes.
From Lagos West.
What names do you have?
Preferably, it's possible to be my friend, the SSG.
Okay.
On day.
Okay.
On day, my personal friend. A lawyer, very brilliant, intelligent, and someone that can be an able deputy running mate to Amzat in terms of winning elections and in terms of rolling the government.
About opposition, we spoke to.
I just said just looking for publicity.
We spoke to Mr. Fosho Doherty of the NDC just a few days ago, and he did some political calculations that, the current Lagos State governor is not even governor on a popular mandate based on the percentage of people that voted, and their strategy is to get more people to vote. So if you can get more people to come out, there might be serious trouble for the APC in Lagos State. Do you think the opposition stands a chance?
I told
Lagos State.
I told Doherty on this program one day that the opposition in the state should come together under an umbrella to be able to fight and battle the ruling party, APC. Then it was in PDP. He left PDP to ADC. It's not in
NDC.
It's not in NDC.
He has left
now
ADC.
It's not in NDC. You can understand the inconsistency.
While Badebo Vival Roads is staying with the ADC.
So these guys cannot win in an election like that. You need a formidable opposition that come together under an umbrella, with putting all their forces together on the same table to fight the ruling party. The ruling party is too big. It's omnibus in the state. So you can't imagine the structure. They have the money, they have the resources, they have the people, they have the rich, So I don't see the opposition posing a threat to APC in the state. If this man wins the ticket, which he will do, Amzat, I don't see anybody stopping him from going to Alausa House as the governor of the state. I think we're talking about,
what about Oyo?
Yes,
Oyo is a big one.
I was thinking to make it national.
We hear that in Oyo, there's Sharafadin, who has gotten the full support of everyone in the APC. I mean, being a former...
Not everyone in the APC.
Well, that's what we hear.
And most of the people in the APC, some of the leaders supporting him.
Adelabu, there are people too supporting Adelabu within the APC.
Adelabu has a lot of money. Adelabu has structures. He has done it before. Adelabu was in the APC. He led for Accord. Then, interestingly and unexpectedly, the president appointed him a minister when he was in Accord. He came back to APC. Now he's running for governorship, want to consummate his ambition under APC. He had money. All his businesses are in Ibadan. But people appreciate that. But Ibadan community has its own peculiarity, which is the fact that they are very conscious in Ibadan. The Olubadan of Ibadan land is a politician, former governor, former senator. He has structures. When he left PDP to Accord Party, I was telling you guys here, he controlled Ibadan North, the most consequential local government in other politics. It's controlled by the Olubadan of Ibadan land. Olubadan is supporting Sharafadin, who the president ostensibly is also supporting.
Not directly.
Not directly. My friend, who is a political guru in Ibadan, told me 2 days ago, Habib is for Sharafadin. But he said he has left the Alabu's camp to the camp of Sharafadin because the same thing is swinging towards him. If we win the governorship, it's another ball entirely. Another thing entirely because the government is also supporting the candidate. APM, APM, stroke PDP. I think we discuss that one later.
It's here. You can go ahead. Let's just look at it. It's there. It's the big picture on the Punch, the front page of the Punch. And then we had a guest who had joined us to also discuss it.
I mean, your history of political covering politics.
Yeah, you see.
Can you explain what is going on?
What is going on?
Is it PDP or your branch? Or is it a national PDP?
Benga, why do you like this branch?
No, because have you heard of PDP-APM in any other state?
They amuse me all the time. Are they contesting for the sake of contesting?
Yeah.
Or they are contesting to win elections? I was thinking that a political party is defined by political science as coming together of people with the same ideology for the sake of winning an election and forming a government. If they are trying to win an election, why are they deceiving themselves? Yesterday we saw Amechi with the submit his form under ADC. Atiku Abubakar with the submit his form under APC. I saw Peter Obi be interviewed by New Central, which was widely covered everywhere in social media.
Shabi, forgive us. I understand we have a caller. Frank from Port Harcourt
We're coming to that.
is joining us. Frank, a very good morning to you.
Good morning, Judith, and others in the studio.
Good morning. Please go ahead.
Where Governor Seyi Makinde declared for president. I want to ask Governor Makinde this morning, what happened to Ibadan summit? The summit that they say they will bring out unified candidates. Overnight, they have changed. Now, this opposition, I don't trust them, and I believe I don't even trust them because they will say something in the morning, in the afternoon, they will change. In the evening, they will change. Now, Obi is in LDC, and Kwakwaso is in LDC. Others are in ADC. Now, him now is going to APM and Bala Muhammad. Please, let's not take us on that. Nigeria, we are bigger than all those jokes that they are joking. Nigeria politicians don't know what they take us for. We are ready for good governance, and let's not think because the opposition now is attacking people that they will now put because of the no. Their antecedents alone will be the one to bring them down. They are splitting their votes. At the end of the day, now that we accuse INEC that INEC is working for Tinubu. INEC is not working for Tinubu. If they fail, they are the cause of themselves because they split their votes. Thank you and God bless you.
Very much, Frank. Frankly speaking, there he raised many pertinent issues. The ink that they used to write that Ibadan Declaration has not even dried yet. And the convener of the Ibadan Summit, and millions, if not billions, would have been spent on that summit, is now leading the destruction of the agreement they wrote, because he's further fracturing the opposition. Didn't they say less than 2 weeks ago, this is not, they said. So why would the people, Frank is very serious. We have very serious governance issues.
But that is what I've been talking about.
And the politicians on the other side of the spectrum,
that is what I've been saying,
cannot even organize themselves
consistently
together.
On this your program. That's what I've been saying. Even though I have sympathy for APC, I equally believe, as a Nigerian who have a stake in this democracy, in this country, that the opposition should come together under one umbrella.
But they don't seem to.
If they want to win the election, now they
can't agree.
It just shows that they are not fighting for the right, Nigeria or democracy, fighting for themselves.
So PDP convention, Ibadan,
null and void.
Ibadan summit,
null and void.
Null and void. What's going on?
So you have Makinde.
And now this one.
Makinde declared yesterday.
APM. PDP-APM.
A Nollywood spectacle.
Wow.
Yesterday, you have Atiku Abubakar and Amechi something in their forms.
Did you see how they were fighting?
And the president is abroad just watching and laughing and drinking his tea. You cannot challenge this man without coming together. Come a formidable team. United under one umbrella to fight him. That's what I'm saying.
We have another caller.
Anyway, we'll get to the PDP shortly.
Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning, Paul. Go on.
Yeah, there is something I want to disagree with your analyst. And there is something that has been projected that have left the Nigerian people out of your projection. The Nigerians that voted in 2023, is it still the same Nigeria that will vote in 2027? Based on economic equivalences and difficulty that Nigerians have faced. The man who got 8.something million votes in 2023, is this still sure that those who voted for him and that gave him will be willing, facing these difficulties, to return him back with that 8.something million votes? We're not considering that. The Nigerians are very, very poor today than 2023. And the man who made it possible, he rode on the influence of Buhari. That Buhari is no more. And remember what Erufai said. He said in 2027 election, there would be a runoff. He predicted 3 parties. He predicted Asowaju, he predicted Obi and Atiku. Go back and check the interview of Erufai, that there will be a runoff, and that Asowaju will come this third place in that election. So what is happening now? Let nobody say APC has the easy ride. I don't believe that. Because I am poorer today than 2023. And not only me. Millions of Nigerian voters are poorer. Life is not better. There is no aspect of our life that you will look at and say, this will make me return APC to power again. So counting on this 8.3 million votes is not a number you take to the bank, because we are facing hell today than 2023. That's my submission. Thank you.
All right. I mean, you have your opinion.
Yeah, go ahead.
Please.
What viewers can also learn from it. You see, Paul has the right for his opinion, and I appreciate it. You know, things are bad. Economy is bad. We are all feeling it. You know, but how do you challenge? How do you go for an election without the prospect of winning? In the last election,
without organizing yourself.
God bless you. The last election he was referring to, Obi won Lagos. Defeated Tinubu in Lagos. You know, because Obi was running under Labour Party. Now Labour Party has been personalized. Now Obi decided to come together with like minds under ADC. Now they did not agree. Obi left. Obi is now in NDC. Other people are still there. So they will share the votes. Now we are saying, I appreciate what he's saying.
Right.
Yes, but they cannot defeat a ruling party.
Yeah, but I think you guys are saying...
They don't want democracy.
I think
without coming together under an umbrella.
I think you guys are saying the same thing, only that it's an A. You're looking from a different point of view.
Got it.
The votes will clearly be shared.
Correct.
Right? I don't necessarily think that, I don't know who's going to come first and third.
Yeah.
Again, I don't know. But from what we've seen and from the moves, the votes will clearly be shared. But what I worry for is voter apathy. And I've made this, I think I've said this almost every day since I've been on this program.
Yeah.
We've seen, again, I always work with data and precedent informs our future.
Absolutely.
This is in no way me trying to be preemptive. This is no way trying to be,
Absolutely.
you know, but based off of what we know, every single time there's been an economic downturn, people are disinterested with the politics. We have seen it again. Since the off-cycle elections, whether it's the elections in Oyo State or, in Ondo State, the elections in Benin, and even the local government elections and the by-elections, those are the offices, the House of the Assembly seats that were trying to be refilled, what we saw was low voter turnout again and again and again. In fact, there were officials that were going from one house to another with antebellums, begging people to come out and vote. So, yes, I don't think we'll see that same number that we saw in the last time because of that, right? Because of what we've seen with the election cycles in the last 3 years. What we'll most likely will see that there will be turnout, but it will be shared and the voter apathy. So what we need to be talking about is how to boost voter confidence.
I think I don't share that view. I don't share the view because if it's national elections, people come out to vote. If it's by-elections or state elections, like you have in Edo, that we have in Ekiti, we have in Osun, maybe, local government elections, voters are party. We don't come out. Let people come out. But in national elections, given the stake and everything, people will come out and vote.
Well, let's see.
But I believe that you have a point by saying that people should be encouraged, people should be galvanized, people should be educated on the need for them to come out and vote. Then another point I will add, please, sorry, another point I will add is that this election is national.
Right.
It's not only Lagos, Southeast, Southwest, Northwest, and North. No, it's a national election.
What about second-term elections, right?
So you need someone that is popular, that is credible, that can win the national election.
The voter turnout...
Not that they must come out.
The voter turnout in 2015 and 2014, and the voter turnout that's the numbers, between 2014 and 2015, when Buhari was going in a second term, you can see that there's also a dip, right? What I'm saying is, I'm not saying they won't come out, but there will be a dip, and we always see this characterized by another... That's what I'm just saying. That's what I'm saying.
The only weapon you have to fight the system and to protest It's your vote. So you will be more galvanized to go out and say, this suffering, this petrol that I'm buying at this price, I'm not happy with it. So people vote for different reasons. And there's some that have been empowered by envelopes. I will go out too.
I'm happy that Mr. Adebayo has been analyzing this political space, even when I was maybe just crawling. But we've seen, just as Judith has mentioned, we've seen it play out. Meat pie, small bottle of drink, wrapper, bread. Will make
weaponization of poverty.
People will eat in pre-campaign. We're going to see it in the next, starting from 3
already
weeks.
Seen it.
In 3 weeks' time, yes, it's going to double.
Money.
I'm sure we'll be talking about it in a wake-up conversation. Yeah. We'll see it. And on that day of election, whether we like it or not, voter apathy is always a problem. I don't think that's because of the cost of fuel. I just feel it's because of who we are.
Okay.
I agree with the fact that sensitization needs to go on. And that's true. People need to be sensitized. But are Nigerians going to really come out of their own violation? Let's be honest.
Joe, forgive me.
Tricky. We have a caller?
Yes, we do.
Okay,
Forgive me.
all right.
We have a caller from Lagos. I missed your name. There we go. Osage from Lagos. Osage, apologies for taking up a bit of your time, but please, thank you so much for staying on the call. Go ahead with your comments.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Everybody studio. Yeah, okay. Yes, see, let me say this. I thank God the last caller said, if you check the numbers, you see, President Tinubu got such that number in 2023 because he has never been a president. Nobody has, he was voted for based on his antecedent. I was for one time a governor of Lagos State, Abi? And now he's the president for the last 3 years. Please, thank God, all of folks and media people, check the figure. Before he came on board, let me say generally, before APC came, what was that? The inflation was 1 digit. Please check me. Our economy was #1 in Africa and third fastest growing economy in the world. What was the PMS? How much was PMS? Cooking gas? No. How much was it? You see, generally, how many Nigerians were poor before he came on board? How many Nigerians are poor now? Is it not the same Nigeria that are going to vote? Are you not saying, I want to ask you guys, do you promote a student that failed promotional exam to the next class because of settlement? And somebody is saying because of structure? And I hear people, even media, I'm sorry because I'm a media person, she know media for that matter. I hear media use the word that President Tinubu is not President Jonathan. I will not operate a constitutional democracy where the people, the electorate, will decide who become their president. I will not say that once the president is voted against, people vote him out, he will not accept it, he will remain. I get what we're saying. Such narrative is very dangerous. That's what I want to correct. Please, things are not going nowhere. Look at insecurity. The last thing I want to say here, before APC came, our major insecurity channel was Boko Haram bombing, which I mean you were dealing with. You would have banditry, kidnapping herdsmen, kidnapping for commercial purposes. But what do you have now? Can you even on daytime, you see people being kidnapped, being flogged by Fulani herdsmen, and we are saying that the president will continue? Is it because we have a job? I'm sorry, but I'm not glad to be sentimental. Is it because some of us we have a job? Over 100 million Nigerians are out of job. They don't have job. How can such a number and you want this country to continue like this? Well, I don't think.
Thank you so much, Osage. But I don't think anyone here have said that.
No, he's just sharing his opinion.
Okay.
Yeah. It's not about us. And I also
said he has heard some
representing facts. You see, I like the emotions, I like the concern, I like the vituperations. But the fact remains that you win elections with structure. You win elections, a national elections, on a presidential election project. Presidential elections are consummated with a lot of things, resources. You must have the structure. You must have the national spread. And that is why we've been saying on this program, I have been arguing consistently that opposition must come together. These are bad, but how do you defeat the Tinubu?
At the end of the day,
you must come together.
All these brilliant ideas. You want to change things. How do you get there? Yeah, that's the issue. You might have all those brilliant ideas. I want to change this. I want to do this.
Exhibiting emotions, which is normal. Things are bad.
But then again,
things are bad.
I think the media needs to do a reset and recheck. I know we follow the news and we're supposed to report the news, but I think we're losing focus on, we need daily reminders of the reason why people go to polls is because the decisions politicians make have a life and death effect on their lives. He just mentioned a few statistics and things that are happening in the country. And in all of this movement, you know, Godfather days, is my turn to eat, is my turn to go there, we completely forget the issues, the lived realities of millions of Nigerians. So the focus is now more on the players and the individuals, and we're not talking about what they are meant to do, the policy changes that would lead to a better life and sense of being and dignity for majority of Nigerians. And I think we need to bring the conversation back to that, because that's the most important thing, as far as I'm concerned.
When, and you guys know that, when Atiku and Co, Obi, Kwakwaso, all of them came together under the umbrella of ADC, I was very happy. Happy for this country, happy for our future, happy for democracy. And happy that someone among them will challenge Tinubu successfully. But the moment they started breaking, when Kwakwaso and Obi left us, and he has gone again.
And it doesn't inspire confidence in the populace. So it's you have the government that is saying, look, we want to consolidate what we've done, and then you have the opposition that can't even organize itself. Why would you trust them to?
That is the problem.
How can you trust them to fix the problems?